The final chapter of the Lord of the Rings trilogy begins as the story reaches its critical climax. The fate of Middle-earth rests on the shoulders of Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee, who are still journeying toward Mount Doom in the land of Mordor to destroy the One Ring. Frodo's will is waning under the corrupting power of the ring, and his companion Sam's loyalty is tested as they struggle to survive in the harsh terrain of Mordor. They are relentlessly pursued by Gollum, who is consumed by his obsession with the ring and seeks to reclaim it. Meanwhile, the armies of Sauron continue their march toward the free peoples of Middle-earth. The forces of Gondor, led by Denethor, the steward of Gondor, are under siege in the city of Minas Tirith, the capital of Gondor. Aragorn, revealed to be the true heir to the throne of Gondor, takes up the mantle of leadership, rallying the forces of men. Gimli and Legolas continue to fight by his side, while Gandalf leads the defense of Minas Tirith, trying to hold off Sauron's forces. In a bid to distract Sauron's gaze from Frodo and Sam, Aragorn decides to take a bold course of action. He travels to the Paths of the Dead, where he must call upon the spirits of the dead to raise an army of the Oath Breakers, souls bound by a broken vow to fight for Gondor. This army, once summoned, joins Aragorn in his desperate effort to defend Minas Tirith. As the war against Sauron's forces intensifies, Merry and Pippin also play key roles. Merry fights alongside Eowyn, the shield maiden of Rohan, who is determined to prove her worth in battle, while Pippin aids Gandalf in Minas Tirith and forms a bond with Galadriel's reflective gift. Together, they help to keep the hope of Middle-earth alive despite overwhelming odds. The Battle of the Pelennor Fields ensues outside the gates of Minas Tirith. The city is under siege by Sauron's army of orcs, Mumakil, giant war elephants, and other monstrous creatures. Just as the city is about to fall, the forces of Rohan, led by King Theoden, arrive to provide reinforcements, led by Aragorn and his army of the dead. The battle is fierce, with Eowyn fighting disguised as a man to confront the Witch King of Angmar, the leader of Sauron's army, who has prophesied that no man can defeat him. In a heroic moment, and with the help of Merry, manages to strike down the Witch King, fulfilling the prophecy and giving the people of Gondor hope. With Minas Tirith saved, Aragorn is crowned as the King of Gondor. He pledges to restore the kingdom and lead the fight against Sauron in the final showdown. Back in Mordor, Frodo and Sam are on the verge of exhaustion. Gollum's manipulation reaches its peak as he betrays Frodo, leading him into the lair of Shelob, a giant spider who nearly kills Frodo. Sam is able to rescue Frodo, but the ring is still within their grasp, and Gollum's treachery looms large. As the forces of Middle-earth prepare for the final confrontation at Mount Doom, Frodo and Sam must find their way into the heart of Sauron's realm. The climax reaches its apex when Frodo, on the edge of Mount Doom, faces the ultimate temptation to claim the ring for himself. However, the power of the ring proves to be too much for Frodo to resist, and he is almost overwhelmed by its influence. In the final act of the saga, Gollum reappears, and in a struggle for the ring, Gollum inadvertently falls into the fires of Mount Doom, destroying the ring. With its destruction, the Dark Lord Sauron's power is broken, and his armies crumble. As the world of Middle-earth begins to heal from the ravages of war, Aragorn ascends to the throne of Gondor, uniting the kingdoms of men. The once divided peoples of Middle-earth now stand united in peace. Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin return to the Shire, but the journey has changed them forever. The final scenes show the quiet return of the heroes to their homeland. Frodo, weary and scarred by the journey, decides to leave Middle-earth and sail west with Gandalf, Elrond, Galadriel, and Bilbo Baggins, seeking peace after the burden of the ring. Sam, however, remains in the Shire, ready to start a family and live a life of peace. The story concludes with a poignant moment as Sam returns home to his wife, Rosie, and their children, a symbol of hope, renewal, and the enduring spirit of the Shire. The return of the king ends with the reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is light at the end of the journey, and the bonds of friendship and courage can overcome even the greatest of evils. Themes and key moments. The Return of the King is about redemption, sacrifice, and the restoration of hope. The theme of leadership is explored through Aragorn's journey from reluctant heir to king, as he takes responsibility for the fate of Gondor and Middle-earth. Frodo's sacrifice and the toll that carrying the ring takes on him are central to the story, as is Sam's loyalty to Frodo, which is instrumental in the destruction of the ring. The final battle in Pelennor Fields represents a victory not just for Gondor, but for all free peoples of Middle-earth. Eowyn's victory over the Witch King symbolizes the strength of those who have been overlooked and underestimated, and the power of women in this epic story. The film's conclusion, with the destruction of the ring and the end of Sauron's reign, brings peace to Middle-earth. But the personal cost of the journey is evident, particularly for Frodo, who is unable to fully return to his former life. The departure of Frodo to the Undying Lands is a bittersweet moment, showing the price of victory and the unspoken sadness that even the most valiant heroes must bear. The Return of the King is an epic conclusion to the trilogy, filled with action, emotion, and timeless themes. It serves as a powerful reminder that even in the darkest moments, the light of hope and the strength of the human spirit can overcome the greatest of challenges. The film stands as a fitting end to one of the most beloved and influential fantasy sagas of all time.